Here we are yet again, 1 week closer to the release of College Football 26, so it is that time for us to look at another team that I think is going to be very, very good in the game, and a team you should try out, the South Carolina Gamecocks. One of the most, maybe the most, not one of, frustrating teams to go up against in the road to the CFP mode in College Football 25. I know I've heard from a few people, if they load into a game and see they're going against South Carolina, they'll just back out immediately, not have to deal with the Wildcat, the F-Twins is over, and the roster that we're going to get to here in just a second. But I did want to say really quick, I know on the last few of these that we've done, especially last week with Southern Miss, the main point of it was really just how insane the transfer portal has gotten, how many transfers those guys got coming in. Not the case with South Carolina. They did it much more traditional way. It's a lot more about the guys that got coming back, and then they did use the transfer portal in a few positions, but really the ones they just desperately actually needed the help, so we'll get to those when we get to them. But South Carolina, gonna be an incredible team in College Football 26. Not looking forward to going against them, which I'm sure we will a lot, much like we did this year when we did our campus tour, got through and got a win with every team in the game. South Carolina was by far the team we went up against the most. Expect more of the same, because this depth chart is still looking pretty dang good. And as is the case with every one of these teams we've gone over, it starts at quarterback. LaNorris Sellers, currently only an 82 overall with 88 speed. We're expecting that to take a pretty significant jump into next year, both overall wise and probably a little speed boost coming his way too. Last year threw for 2,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but ran the ball 166 times, 674 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He's fitting right into that Jalen Milroe mold. That's going to be him. It's going to be Lagway at Florida. It's going to be Green at Arkansas. 6'3", 242, all going to be big, tough guys to bring down. It was bad enough having one with Alabama this year. We have 3 potential just in the SEC that are going to be very, very frustrating quarterbacks to go against. Now at halfback though, this guy is really the main reason I personally would struggle against South Carolina. This guy was impossible to bring down. A power back with 92 speed, armbar, head first, sidekick, downhill. No longer on the team, obviously was a senior. He is gone. Pretty much their whole halfback room is gone. Attaway senior is gone. McDowell senior gone. Braswell transferred to Georgia State. So this is our first instance of they have nobody on the roster. They go to the transfer portal, find a couple guys, and Rasul Faison. Now, this one is kind of interesting because he is still waiting on an NCAA waiver to get eligibility for next year. It really kind of seems up in the air from at least what I was able to read. I don't think there's been a final decision yet. We're not 100% sure he's going to be in this game and on the team next year, which is too bad because he did have, I mean, I know his stats don't look great here, but he did have a very good year for the Aggies of Utah State last year. 198 carries, 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns. With him going to South Carolina, get up to an 85 overall, maybe somewhere around there, get his speed up a little bit, and we've got at least an option at halfback where we didn't have one at all before. But I still don't think, even if he does play next year, I don't think I'd be using him as our halfback one. Instead, we'll go to Colorado. And Isaiah Augustov, not 100% sure we're saying that right, as is the case with a lot of these names, but 80 overall, 92 speed, 6'2", 210, fantastic size to combine with a 92 speed, really, really good. And he was all right last year for Colorado. He didn't get a ton of work, 85 carries, almost 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. But with that speed and size, for me, this is going to be halfback one. And now, of course, he's no Raheem Sanders, but still a very good option at halfback, especially paired with LaNorris Sellers at quarterback, where you are looking pretty good in the backfield, looking great at quarterback, looking fine at halfback, and looking pretty dang good at wide receiver. And we'll just start at the main event, obviously, Nick Harbor, 6'5". 6'5", 235 pounds, 99 speed, platinum takeoff. The bane of so many people's lives when you go against South Carolina in road to the CFP. You can have shaded over the top, deep quarters, whatever coverage you call. Sometimes he's just going to beat you, especially if it's one-on-one. He's just going to go up and grab those balls. This guy drove me insane last year, and he is coming back, and he is still going to be 99 speed. At least he should be. And I know there are, some leaks and some sites out there that are saying they have all the ratings. not 100% sold on some of those. I know a couple examples I saw was Chris Johnson Jr. They said was dropping to a 94 speed from a 98 that he is in this game. Not sure I believe that. And Dickman at Rice, had to check him too. He was 98 speed in this game. They have him as a 91 speed in College Football 26. So I'm taking those ratings with a little bit of a grain of salt. But Nick Harbor is 100% going to stay at 99 overall. Now, what a lot of people might not know is why he is a 99 overall, 99 speed. What a lot of people might not know about Nick Harbor. Why is he going to stay 99 speed? He actually also runs for the South Carolina track team, and in 2024 qualified for the NCAA championships in the 100 meter and the 200 meter events. The guy is a freak of nature. At 6'5" to be able to move that fast and qualify for that event, he's staying 99 speed. He's going to keep takeoff. He is going to be a massive problem again next year, or he's going to be a lot of fun. I guess it depends on your perspective on if you're using South Carolina or going against South Carolina, but Nick Harbor for sure is going to be a menace in the game next season. Now, also coming back, though, Mazeo Bennett Jr., who was very good for South Carolina last year. He was second on the team with 30 catches, only had 337 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he's definitely one of the safety blanket options for LaNorris sellers. So we expect a little bit of a jump here, not a ton. We don't really need a ton though. With Nick Harbor, his 99 speed. Now we'll have a 92 speed here. Mazeo Bennett. We are also keeping Jared Brown in his 94 speed. And I've said before, double dip, to me, like the most useless ability you can have on a wide receiver. Just for me personally, I never run double moves. If you do, great. He's got it in platinum. So just with those three, we've got a solid base going. Gage here is going to be gone. He is a senior, but Jacobs is also coming back. So we got 4 receivers, 99 speed, 92, 94, 91. Looking very, very good. Campbell, senior, is gone. This one does hurt, though. Gatling was another takeoff you could have in your wide receiver core. He is transferring out to Georgia Tech. So that one is kind of unfortunate, but still, just with these 4, and there's no transfers coming in, so we'll see. Maybe some of these other guys can get a few speed boosts. Some of the guys down here, I don't know. Maybe they got some freshmen coming in. And I've said this before too. I'll say it again. I don't really look at the incoming freshmen because it's just impossible to really have any idea of where they are going to rank out in College Football 26. So we're just looking at transfers coming in and players coming back. Of these receivers, the 4 coming back, we've got a heck of a wide receiver room. Just drop back and chuck it to Harbor or scramble with Sellers. You'll win a lot of games with South Carolina. Looking pretty good at the wide receiver spot. Yeah, no transfers coming in there. Tight end. We are losing Joshua Simon, which is unfortunate. 6'4", 82 speed, silver sure hands. But who is coming back is Brady Hunt, 6'5", 83 speed. Trumps him by 1 in both those categories and still has silver sure hands. He didn't do a ton for South Carolina last year, though. Simon was the team leader in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. So it'll be interesting to see next year if they use Hunt in a similar fashion to Simon. You'd think his overall will go up and up and up throughout the season, but maybe it was just a Simon thing. We'll have to see. Even if they don't, and Hunt just stays what he's at, 79 overall, that speed, the size, and the sure hands, fantastic. Offense is going to be in a really, really good spot here. Sellers, we're expecting a big jump. We're expecting him to have some great abilities with his size. You're going to be able to take off, do whatever you want with him. Halfback, I'm thinking that Colorado guy is going to be our halfback one. Augustov, 50-50 shot. I'm probably still wrong either way. Wide receiver room, I think, is looking great. I wish we were able to keep Gatling and have 2 takeoffs there, but when you have Nick Harbor, you really don't need a whole heck of a lot else. Brady Hunt at tight end. Offense looking good at South Carolina. Let's take a look at their defense. And speaking of players we expect to make a giant leap in College Football 26, Dylan Stewart was a freshman last year, 87 overall, but no abilities. That's the biggest change we're expecting to see from him. Overall wise, maybe up to 90, somewhere in the 90s, but give him a quick jump, some pass rushing ability. I think it's just about guaranteed he's going to get something like that in College Football 26, and we're going to have a dynamic edge rusher on one side, which is good because we are losing one on the right side. But staying at left end here for just a second, because this Brian Thomas Jr. is also returning. Blow up an outside disruptor, much more of like linebacker abilities, to help against the run. But he did have 4.5 sacks last year, which was 3rd on the team behind Dylan Stewart, who had 6.5, and Kyle Kennard, who had 11.5. The guy was unbelievable. So with the 4.5, he's already got blow up and outside disruptor. That's a fine person you can have on your edge. but we're hoping he still gets a pass rush ability in there. We know Stewart for sure is going to get one. If we can get one on Thomas Jr. too, we're already off and running with our edge pressure we can get here with the Gamecocks. Now at right end, Kyle Kennard is gone. The 4th round pick to the, I almost called him San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers, losing a silver quick jump, pocket disruptor, and arrests. Having that ability stack is preposterous. I don't think there's too many players in the game that get all 3 of those, so losing him is too bad. And we are losing another gentleman down here, W. Gregory, with a silver quick jump. He is transferring to Oklahoma State, so we've lost 2 quick jumps at our right end position. We're hoping we should gain at least 1 at left end, potentially 2 depending on Thomas Jr., but we do have, we'll get to them when we get to the linebackers, but we got some replacements on the way. This is another position group where they weren't looking the best. Went to the transfer portal, shorted up a little bit, so they're outside linebackers in this game, so we'll talk about them when we get to outside linebacker. But even without those guys, I think edges we're going to be in a good spot with Stewart and Thomas Jr. At defensive tackle, this is a bit of a wasteland. So Hemingway with his outside disruptor, option disruptor, inside disruptor, senior, he is gone. TJ Sanders, I believe, is gone as well. He at least wasn't on the team's roster, on their official roster, so I assume he is gone. He wasn't on the transfer portal page either. He's a junior, maybe graduated early. Couldn't really find much about him. Huntley, senior, gone. Jules, senior, gone. Goodwine is coming back, so that's our only defensive tackle here in the top 5 that is actually returning. But we are adding 3 players in the transfer portal. None of them are really worth us going and taking a look at, though. Gabriel Brownlow Dindy, I think is how you pronounce that, from Texas A&M. Hasn't really played at all, has been there for 3 years. No real stats to talk about, but he is an 84 overall in this game with no abilities, though. But still, we just desperately needed bodies in this D-tackle room. So between him and Goodwine, we'll at least have 2. We also have Devontae Miles coming from Bowling Green. No real stats at all to speak of. 72 overall is what it is. And Troy Pikes from Georgia Southern, a 59 overall. So it's really going to be the Texas A&M transfer and Goodwine are going to be our 2 D-tackles. But we are going to have some flexibility here as well with the linebackers they got coming in. So Stewart, you're for sure going to keep as an edge rusher, 100%, no doubt about that. Thomas Jr. you could move around, though. Depending on what kind of abilities he's going to get, you could play him at D-tackle. Because at linebacker, our left outside, quick jump, Jaron Willis is returning. So there's 1 replacement for the quick jumps we are losing. Middle linebacker. Only one of note coming back here, we're losing our top 2, is J.R. Johnson. 86 speed, 6'4", 240. That is a very, very good sub-linebacker user option coming back to the team for next year. Right outside, we are losing Debo Williams and Mohamed Kaba. So, and they're the only 2 on the roster. So again, this is where transfer portal desperately needs some help. They go and get some starting. Well, I guess he transferred to Louisville, but in this game, he's on Charlotte. And Demon Clowney, one of my favorite names in this entire game. I think this is another one in the winter portal, committed to Louisville, then in the spring decided, you know what, never mind. I don't want to be a Cardinal. I will go to South Carolina and be a Gamecock instead, but a silver quick jump. So that makes up for that right end that transferred out. Gregory, we lose that silver quick jump. We get one here with Demon Clowney. This is kind of who I was talking about and why I think we could potentially move that Thomas Jr. left end inside to play as the D-tackle, because we'll have Dylan Stewart on one edge, Demon Clowney with a silver quick jump on the other side. Should put us in a pretty good spot. Now we also got another right outside linebacker, Justin Okoronkwo from Alabama. Not very good, hasn't really done anything there, nothing worth showing there. And a Sean Murphy from Florida State. He is a middle linebacker with 84 speed, potentially another user sub-linebacker option. A little slow for me. I think I'll stick with J.R. Johnson here for South Carolina. So when it comes to just the linebackers, we do have that bronze quick jump, Willis at left outside. We're going to have a silver quick jump here with Clowney at right outside. And a potential user middle linebacker there with J.R. Johnson. I think linebackers are looking really good. Defensive line, the interior is not looking great, but the edges are looking really, really good for South Carolina. Also looking very good is their secondary. So at corner, we are losing O'Donnell Fortune as a senior. We are keeping, though, Judge Collier, jammer, and quick jump, man-to-man, 6'1", 89 speed. We're keeping Swain, 6'1", 92 speed, man-to-man with jammer. Unfortunately, this one actually kind of cut me a little deep. We're losing our 97 speed, 6'1" Emery Floyd. He transferred to Appalachian State. Really just unfortunate there. Spalding as a senior is gone. So out of these top 5, we've got Collier and Swain coming back. Not a bad top 2 if you're going to pick 2. I'd probably rather have Floyd. But other than that, not looking too shabby. Kilgore is coming back here. 6'2", 88 speed, which puts us already in a fairly good spot at corner. We do have one more down here coming back. Another 6'1", 90 speed, Solomon. So that gives us 4. If we're assuming we're getting some speed boosts, I'm not sure on these guys. 4 at least around 90 speed corners, all with really good size. Right away, looking pretty solid, but this was another. We're looking a little thin. We need some help. Let's get to the transfer portal. Let's head to Raleigh, North Carolina, and grab somebody from the Wolfpack. Their cornerback to Brandon Siss. It can't be Sissy. It's got to be Sis. 82 overall, 91 speed, 6 feet tall. So they're all at least 6 feet tall. All going to be 90-ish speed, some a little bit more. Looking pretty good in our cornerback room. They also did get a Miles Norwood from Ball State. 77 overall, 89 speed. Going to be just a depth option for the most part. I think with this Brandon character, Collier, Swain, Kilgore, potentially Solomon. I mean, he's got good height and good speed. We're looking pretty set at corner. Nothing like crazy, nothing that's going to blow you away, but just a really solid position group here. Kind of like safeties. We are, of course, losing Nick Amanwari, which is too bad. 93 overall, 90 speed. Unbelievable free safety. 2nd round draft pick to the Seattle Seahawks. God bless you. Good luck in the big leagues, my guy. We are getting Kilgore back, though. 6 foot, 90 speed. Kind of matches what our corners are looking like, too. With good size and certainly good enough speed. On free safety, if we can get 90 speed, we're looking pretty solid. So very glad to have Kilgore coming back in this spot. And we do have one more coming back, actually. Down here, Hunter. Another 6 foot, 89 speed. So if you don't want to use any of the actual middle linebackers as your sub linebacker, this is actually a pretty good option with him being 6 foot, 202, 89 speed. Certainly somebody you can play down in the box. Now at strong safety, we are keeping both DQ Smith and Peyton Williams. Now this DQ Smith, I think for sure is somebody, if you're going to play, would be a sub linebacker for you with those abilities, with his size and him being a little, just a touch too slow. I think he's going to work much better as a sub linebacker. I'd probably have him and J.R. Johnson, that middle linebacker, as our 2 sub linebackers. Going to help a lot against the run, and they're fast enough to make plays in the pass game. Looking really good there. Williams is coming back here as well. Peyton Williams, 6 foot, 89 speed. So across the entire secondary, we're all at least 6 feet tall. We're all right around 90 speed. Really puts us in a good position in the secondary as a whole. We're going to have multiple quick jumps on defense, especially considering what they've been talking about with the wear and tear. Seems to be maybe it's a little bit more next year. So having people we're going to be able to sub in and having multiple quick jumps we can kind of rotate in and out and keep fresh, I think could end up being very important, and a big reason why I really do think South Carolina's defense is still going to be really good next year, even with them losing some of those high overall pieces. We should still be able to get after the quarterback, and the secondary is certainly going to be good enough to make some plays back in the back end here as well. So with all of that covered, I think their defense, it's definitely going to take an overall step down just because losing Kennard, losing Amanwari, losing their cornerback one, whose name escapes me at the moment. I do think the defensive overall is going to go down a little bit, but I think with the transfers they got coming in, the defense is still going to play more than good enough. The offense is going to be explosive. Big on LaNorris sellers for College Football 26. He is going to be so frustrating to go against. Nick Harbor, playmakers all over the offense. Very excited to try out South Carolina once the game finally drops here in a couple weeks. So that is going to do it for our South Carolina preview. We've only got one left. We saved the biggest ones for last. I think South Carolina is going to be one of the best user teams to use. I think next week we are going to stay in the SEC and talk about a team that I think might be, by overall, one of the best teams in the entire game. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you next week for our final College Football 26 preview. Until then, take it easy.